All right, folks, what are we going to do today? Studebaker's outside because I am waiting for some parts for this thing. So there's no room. Wow, could be. But I'm still waiting for some stuff for that thing anyways, just to kind of do my last, I feel like my last hoorah on there. Austin, I think, is coming today, so he's probably going to do some electrical on his car. So I have a few parts, and basically I think today I just want to daddle with this thing. I got to kind of move some junk out of the way. Today's plan, nothing very glorious, but I want to, I guess just this front part of this frame, I want to get the old steering box out because I have a new one coming, but I don't have it yet. But I basically want to get these control arms off. I want to zap up the front of the frame, clean them up, and get my new control arm stuff on. So I'd like to get this basically zapped, cleaned up, and, well, probably some paint. I'm kind of curious. I don't remember why I opened up this section. So maybe I'll actually drop a motor down in it. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to like move a bunch of junk here first so I can get in there properly and have a look at what I'm working with and what I'm trying to do here. Well, the plan is I have another set of spindles and stuff, so I'm not messing with any of this. Although the brake pads look like they survived, but we're just going to replace stuff with new. I only realize now I didn't buy any of this. I don't have that. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. Huh. Wonder. A buddy of mine tapped these for me. And I'm just wondering if, nah, we'll have to just replace it all. You did such a good job. Gosh darn it. Anyways, I'm going to have to get, what I had here is this thing was actually, this is a smart car rack, but it had this weird electric thing, which I had disabled, but it had perfect geometry. Through the whole suspension travel, there was no weird movement. So, like I said, I found another one that's manual, so hopefully it fits better. But it's the right width. I've seen guys use Mustang racks and try to shorten them, or they put them on, but you get a lot of weird bumps here throughout the suspension travel. Anyways, right now, I'm not too worried about the front of the horns. We don't know how we're cleaning that up or doing stuff yet. There's just a lot of, I'm noticing there's a lot of not finishedness, which is okay. It was just where I was at with the car at the time. Anyways, I have some new upper lower control arms, and then I have a set of used spindles out in the yard. The lower bag mounts are still here, so we'll be able to reuse those. I don't know, I don't have any bags of any kind right now. There we go. So these will be okay for what they are. They'll be fine. And then we'll have to get the upper ones out of there because there's not much attached to it. Okay, I am going to get these control arms off, get the shocks off, and then I almost want to mock up the motors. I don't really know why I did this. Clearly I was going to box this and do a bunch of stuff, but I don't remember why. And then I had my motor mounts. Clearly the motor was in there, but I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not worried about the transmission side. I still have my old tranny, but the motor I basically want to sit in here. I'm just trying to see if, did I provision this for my, what do you call it? Air conditioning? I'm just not sure. I'm trying to sort that out. So there's a motor outside I might grab and we can place in here if everything looks good. Then I can figure out how to box this section up. And yeah, anyways, I'm going to strip all this junk off. I'm going to get that off, this off, get this rack out, because apparently if I bring a core in, they'll give me some of my money back. So I'm going to get this thing apart. Shocks, this, that. Yeah, we'll start with all that. I want to just do that. Then I'll go outside, grab my other control arms. Or my spindles that I'm going to use. They're just a used set I had on a truck. I'll probably get new rotors and stuff for it, but for now, at least, I can just, whatever, bolt them on, they'll be fine. Yeah, guess we'll get started. The firewall in the big picture, I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to actually cut it out and just make a smoothed out firewall. We never got that far with the car yet, so I didn't have provision for pedals. I had nothing. I do remember at the time steering was going to be very complicated, and I had one of those steer clear boxes, which I don't anymore. But it was just enough that I would be able to get around the motor and things like that. But seeing how I made it sort of work on that Model A, it shouldn't be too bad if I got to do something interesting here. But anyways, like I said, for now, let's just strip this thing down. Wow, that's stripped out. That was a complete pain in the butt. I didn't realize you could, like, I guess replace them. I don't know why I didn't think that, but I'm pretty much going to replace everything because it was a sucker to get off. I had to cut it apart. And then, well, I guess it has some kind of a knurl, whatever you want to call it, but we'll be able to just zap it so the nut stays in place. But before I do anything, I think I'm just going to get those other control arms. I'm just going to mock stuff up just to see how it is, just to make sure. I mean, these are just Amazon bits, but they are the stuff I need, so I don't see why they won't work. So hopefully something already doesn't look right. Well, I think they're right. Yeah, they're all right. Got a right and a left. Okay, I'm gonna get my other spindles that I have. They just haven't been in a fire, so they're just good that way. Should get the top bag mounts out too yet, but anyways, I'm gonna go I'll get the other stuff. We'll quickly just kind of mock it up, and then I'll probably run through the yard, grab that other motor. I'm gonna move some of my other stuff here. This doesn't need to be in because whatever. I'm hoping my deal with my other machine works out, so I'm not even going to attempt to fix this, but I want to basically shuffle around, get that motor in here. I'd like to just plop that motor there just to see what I was thinking, what I'm doing. I'm hoping that this was me trying to make room for air conditioning. Possible. That way I can figure out what to start bracing up in here and stuff. All right, got the motor sitting in there. Pretty sure it's about where it is. I don't know. There might be some tilt or something. Do a little bit of tweaking. The mounts. This side I had to tweak it a little bit. I guess it had folded down. But I have it up into place. We just have it bolted so I get a vibe of what my thoughts and my plans were. So I'm guessing, the only thing I'm guessing, like, this seems very excessive. I got to go in a little bit up here. But the only thing that would have been the problem is that lower power steer, the lower bolt would have been a miserable thing to get at. But I don't know. I think I can just make room for that. If I need to be able to get it off and out if I had to service this thing. That's kind of my thought. I'm always trying to think of servicing things when they break, whether it sucks or not. I just want to be able to take it off. So anyways, I guess I'm going to step into here because I can kind of bridge this up to about here. I can come back about here. As long as I can slip a belt on, that'll be good. I'll leave this side open for now because whatever, I need the room to get at that bolt if I have to take it off for any weird reason. Other than that, the motor mounts are up where they're supposed to be, so I might just tack something in behind and then we'll figure a way to close that in so it's a done deal. Kind of pumped that I worked this out, that I'm running original manifolds, because that would have been a huge amount of suck. Well, there still is a huge amount of suck because my steering rack comes straight up here. And the cool part is I'll have a manual rack coming. Well, this other one was manual too. I was just running on the manual side, so I don't need the power steering pump, so that's not a big deal. So I'd be able to come up to some kind of a wobble. I can kind of shoot out here. But my problem being is my steering column wants to be here. So it's kind of like I have to go there and then come back. Like you can see the series of insane amount of things a feller's got to do to make stuff work. That's why it was pretty awesome. I had that little steer clear box before, so it would have fit on my column and I would have just stuck out the side here and then I would have went. I don't know. I may look into that yet, but the last time I looked, I think they were like $1,600. So that's like a lot. That's excessive. I can buy a lot of U-joints for that, but anyways, this is in place. So I guess first thing we'll do, I'll try to clean this up a bit. I don't want to pull the motor out. I want to get this roughly just roughed in, and then I can pull the motor out and I know where everything's got to go for the most part. It'll all kind of fit in place. Sure had that sucker way back, eh? I guess we had to do all of that, and that's why I couldn't do the original steering box, because the front sheet metal is exactly right there. Anyways, my big plan is going to be that I just, I don't know if I'll fully make it a roller, but I kind of want to get the front together and before I start looking at the body. I don't want to take the body off the car. I want to kind of fit it, because the floor fits to the car right now, so, or to the chassis. So I basically just want to get it, I guess I should say, I want to make it a roller first. And then I'm going to hit onto the body, because I want to, well, the base of the car is permanent and it's good. So we're kind of working on all the upper bits, but it'd be nice if I can roll this thing around. So that's kind of the thought. I want to get the control arms on, and like hopefully I can get some wheels on, and then I can drop it on a dolly and I'd be able to move it over to the other hoist. And then I can kind of figure out the rear suspension again. I'm not worried about bags or any of that kind of stuff. It would just be kind of cool that it's a roller. So, because right now it's really hard to move around if I want to move it. So I'm kind of, would be cool to get as a roller. I have the diff still sitting on the field. It's toast, but I'll try to find another disc brake rear end. I think that's what I had on there, like a little 4x4 S10 disc brake dealio. So I'm going to find, get another one. I have to figure out what I ran for bushings in the front, or maybe we'll change that up, make my own. Just get the trailing arms all in, but that's a later project. I need to get it on the hoist to look at that as an option yet. So for now, let's just do a little bit of welding and stuff. I'd like to, like I say, blast up the front of the frame and just like brush some paint on it or something. Hopefully I can get that stuff out of the way that I don't have to do. I don't have to do fabbing with the steering stuff yet, but whatever. We'll grind and do whatever we have to do then, but it'd be nice to put a little bit of paint on this thing for now. we got all this welded. I was going to leave that open, but now I'm wondering, I don't have a reason for that. So I guess I'll fill that up too. I got to go look and figure out a way to, well, I'll probably just trim this off. We'll connect this half of the mount. We'll just tie it into the control arm. We'll kind of do the same over on this side, but we need to fill this part in. And then over here, we'll just kind of continue this mount down into the chassis. I zapped a bit, but I didn't go too nuts because honestly, I need the wire brush this first. Like here, it worked pretty good, but here, like I say, that's the only thing with the lasers, they zap the clean out of rusty stuff. Like right here, I can guarantee. Once that comes off, there's rust right underneath there. It's like even up here. I just did a little bit on the firewall, but because the flaky rust, it can clean that. It doesn't go past it. I kind of struggle with it, so essentially everything should get a wire brush before I go. Like I say, I'm pretty sure this spot's pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing there, but if you come here, you can see how much it only actually cleaned. Now it would do pretty good. But I think most of this chassis was pretty good. Like that's all good, but the heavier stuff, I got the heavy scaly stuff, I got to wire brush it first. Anyways, I am going to make up a small patch for this, and then I'll probably weld up these mounts because it looked like they work. I only have them tacked, but now I can fully weld them. So I'm going to fully weld them, trim these, and get these mounts like a little more beefier in there. these worked out pretty good. At least I'm pretty happy the way they are. Got that one there, this one here. Pretty much just tried to use up. I have all these little scrap pieces when I'm cutting up parts. I sometimes, in the spare gaps, I usually just try to cut myself some wedges and stuff like that, just for stuff like this. So that worked, that worked. I believe this side worked, and then this one we just had to cut one, but it was out of another chunk of scrap anyway. So that's all done. I got to do this. Forgot about that. I'm going to do this little wedge, and then I'm going to just give it a quick wire brush. I don't know if I'll just do it with the drill or whatever, just to knock the heavy, scaly stuff off, and then we'll give it a shot with the laser, because that should do all this other than the front. And, you know, when it comes time for steering, we're going to have to play with some stuff, but for the most part, I think, well, maybe I'll take these off. May as well do it as good as a feller can right now. But, yeah, we'll clean that up a little bit. Oh, I think this was just temporary too. Well, I might just zap it anyways, just because. But I don't know if I'm going to put paint on it. There's too many variables at the moment here. I got to get that rack in here to see. It looks like I just tacked that stuff, so I don't have anything permanent there. I kind of tied the rack, tied it into the front little snub nose, and we had to chop a little out because of that weird electric power steering thing, but I'm going to see, curious how this mechanical rack is going to fit in there. Anyways, we'll, like I say, clean this up there just so it's a little pretty to look at. Well, that's as far as I got. Looks pretty good, but I had to pack up the laser. Actually, a little part broke inside of it, so I think it's like for the reflector lens kind of thing that kind of does the dance. Well, it fell off, so I don't know. I've actually seen the parts for sale, so I'm gonna have to do some hunting tonight and see if I can find it. But anywho, I cleaned it up as good as I can for now, till it kind of packed it in. I was sort of just blasting the firewall, just, I don't know, for fun, because we are going to take it out anyways, but I was just kind of zapping at things to see how it went. But anyways, this is as far as I get for tonight. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm probably going to have to run to go get parts and see if my rack comes in, and then maybe I can see if we can get our control arms and our spindles just all test fitted. That's kind of where we're at with it. So I'm just going to kind of bolt it together and see. I was going to splash some paint on it, but I'd like to clean it a little more and then put some paint on. But I got to clean up all my front end, those parts that I have. The different spindles and things are they're not as nice as I thought they were, but meh, whatever. Is what it is. I might look for new calipers yet. I'm not sure. I'll see, measure them up, see how they are. I might actually cut them, and then we'll throw them all together. But tomorrow's a new day, so we will play some more tomorrow. Well, yesterday we tried to clean up. I cleaned up the chassis as much as I could, but my laser kind of goofed up. This is the little doodad inside of a laser that takes your light and makes it zigzag. Anyways, I'm not sure what happened, but this lens sits on here, and I don't know if it got hot, but you can see how, I don't know what they call this, a reflector? It's like a mirror, and you can see there's a spot on it, so I'm thinking it's been acting up. Or I might have got some junk in there at one point in time, and that's maybe why this unit has been giving me a little bit of grief, because I'm just wondering if there's been a tiny little spot on here goofing things up. Anyways, this is like a eBay, about a $40 part, so that's pretty much it. And where that goes is actually right, this thing comes off and it goes into there, and that's where that lens is. And then, good one. So that's your reflector goes there, that's your focus lens, and then that would be your cleaning lens. So that's the series of ways it goes. And then the laser light comes up here and it bounces off that lens and does its thing. Anyways, yeah, enough about that. So I'm waiting for parts to come for this, so that can all sit here until that happens. So on that note, I have my hubs and spindles, which I can't actually really clean. I mean, I can use the other smaller unit, but I really don't want to tear that thing all apart with and change out the lens and stuff, so not a big deal. I'll probably tear these off. I'm going to measure the rotors, or the rotors, make sure they're good. If they are, I'm going to maybe run them on the brake lathe over there, and I'm going to cut them, make them clean. We'll repack bearings. We'll get the old, basically knock it apart and maybe test fit everything on there, and maybe that's about as far as I can get today with that thing. Because I have the upper lower control arms. I don't have my rack yet. I'm gonna go pick that up today, but I don't even have the steering arms, so I might steal those off the other unit just to see how things are or what parts I need for that yet. But I realized I didn't order outer tie rod ends, so I kind of need those. So there's a few things before I can kind of button up the front end, but we'll kind of plug away a little bit today. That's kind of the plan. See how far I can pitter patter through there. Right, bud? that brake lathe took me way too long to figure out. I've done drums on it, but I haven't done rotors. So anyways, if you know how to use it and you're yelling at the screen, yeah, I heard you. I kind of figured it out. So I got the rotors cut. They're good. I got to clean up, repack bearings, but I'm going to wait till those laser parts come in and then I can clean the whole thing up. But, you know, they are good to go. They were like an ABS style, but we're not doing any of that. And one of the bearings just doesn't, it was kind of exposed to the elements, so I'm thinking I'm just going to get a new set of bearings. The other side looks good, so we'll just clean it up, grease it, it'll be fine. Up here, we just test fitted stuff because I haven't cleaned any of this stuff and I'd like to put some paint on everything. So anyways, we got this just mocked up. It's in place. I got this mechanical rack. Now this is from a smart car. And I know when I tested it before, the geometry was like bang on. So to do a front steer, these are the way to go. I am noticing though, between this manual rack and I had mine was like big and ugly. It had the electric power assist thing, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work. There's not really a kit for that. Anyways, they have these power or manual racks in some of the cars. So that part's cool. It's too wide. These ends don't fit into, they're loose. They don't fit into the S10 stuff. But what I had done with the other one is I had a buddy, he actually threaded the one side and I was able to use like an S10 sleeve in it. But it almost looks like that power rack car had more meat in it on that part. Because we were able to thread it. It was the same as this side, which is 5/8 18. Here, I don't know. Something's different. So I might, I don't know if to dig into here. I'm really not sure what is going on. Like, we don't need all the beef. Like, this is probably going to be fine on the front end. But that being said, I got to look into this a little bit more because I bought some S10 outers. And by the way, I should have got inners because I think these ends are still the same, but then they're left-handed. And then that way I could just thread and tap this myself just with a tap and die. But see, that would go into there, but this doesn't have the same meat as those ones up there. So I have to figure that part out. I got to work on that and see what's going on. But this is sitting in here, but now that I have this smaller rack in here, I don't quite like the way it fits. Well, mind you, I might have to do that. I'm going to have to wait till A, I figure out a little more stuff here, but B, I want to, if I can, tilt this a bit just so my steering geometry, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, honestly. If it went off here, it's got to go around my motors. It's going to have to go here to some kind of a point to which is going to have to go, like, I don't even know, because my column wants to be here, but my motor is there. So there's this whole lot of stuff having to happen in between there. But for now, we have this cleaned up. And whatever, looks a little better than it was. For mental reference, if you're trying this, I haven't figured this out. Once I get this all sorted out, I just know that through the suspension travel, the Ackman doesn't change with this rack. So that was the only thing. I remember going through my whole suspension travel and I think the wheel only moved like 1/8. So it was like bang on. It was awesome. So as a mental note, smart car, front rack. I think if you're in the States, they're only like $103 on LKQ. So that's kind of pretty awesome. But up here, by the time you get it, shipping, everything turns into $250 for me, but whatever. It is what it is. Not very exciting, but it is what we're working on. So kind of, yeah, I don't know. We made some progress. I'm daddling with this thing a little bit. We got some of the parts, but I'm going to wait for some of my laser bits to come. It's going to be a little bit, so I might daddle a little more on this thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now. I am still waiting for the windshield gasket for that thing. So I might play with it a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I got to do the window glass, the door glass, window glass, finish up a few things. So I might do everything except for getting the windshield in. We'll see how that goes. I'm not 100% sure. But we'll have to kind of kick back onto that thing in a bit too. But this thing, we might work on the rear diff yet. I don't know. I have that sitting outside. Well, I have a diff outside that might work. I still have the old one. I don't have the proper bushings and some stuff for it, but we'll see. We'll see what we do. We're not sure what we're doing. Tomorrow's a new day, and we'll figure it out when we get there. Anyways, on that note, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.